Okay, so on my last Mythbusters video, I asked you guys if you guys enjoyed the more funny moment type of Mythbuster episodes, the ones where I don't get as many myths done, or do you guys like this new layout better? I was going through the comments and it seems just about a 50-50 mix. So what I'm going to do today's episode in the old layout, the next episode will be the new layout, and then it'll just keep rotating back and forth to keep both of you guys happy. Anyways, leave a quick comment down below, give me your opinion on the brand new battle royale game Apex Legends. I know there's been a whole ton of controversy between this game and Fortnite, and I mean, it seems like a lot of people are really enjoying it, including myself, but let me know what you guys personally think about it. I feel like it's a great game, but I don't think it could top out Fortnite anytime soon. Of course, it is just a good game to fall back onto when you are bored, but I have a feeling Fortnite won't lose against them. Also, if you do have a myth you would like me to test in the next or future episodes, make sure to drop them down in the comments below, and let's begin. To begin, the first myth is, can you rocket ride a bottle rocket? I don't know why, but this seemed to be the top comment on my last Mythbusters video, but after I tested out in game, obviously you could see that you really can't rocket ride these things. I feel like the only reason why you can't really rocket ride it is because the rockets honestly aren't big enough to have their own hitbox, unlike the regular rockets. The rockets that you shoot out of an actual rocket launcher, they are this weird rectangle hitbox, but these out of the bottle rocket, they literally don't have any hitboxes at all, therefore you can't really rocket ride them. The next myth is, if you hold a dynamite in your hand and you jump on a launch pad, will it cancel it out? In game, when I tested this and many other myths, I just tested it out in creative mode because honestly, it makes things a lot faster. Before I actually tried out the myth, I wanted to hold a stick of dynamite and see if I could cancel it by switching inventory slots, but that did not work. But what did actually work was when I did jump on the launch pad while the dynamite was about to explode, and as you could see, the stick of dynamite actually gets dropped from my hand and it kind of just flies on its own. It almost acts as if it gets thrown, but it doesn't seem to go as far. I tested this out multiple more times to see if there were to be any other outcome, but it seemed to just be the exact same thing happening every single time. From the previous Mythbusters episode and today's, the only two ways that I know of to cancel out a dynamite that is about to explode in your hand is to either go through a rift or to jump off of a launch pad. The rift will cancel it out immediately, but the launch pad will not. Jumping into the next myth, this myth is, what happens when you throw a smoke grenade and a stink bomb right next to each other? In game, when I was testing this out, I totally forgot that smoke grenades even existed ever since they got vaulted. To do this, I first threw down the smoke grenade, then shortly after, I threw down the stink bomb to see exactly what would happen. As you can see, you have the smoke grenade bubble, and then when you throw the stink bomb into the middle of it, it's slightly smaller and it is a different color. And from the right angle, you could actually see the other circle of the stink bomb literally sitting inside of the smoke grenade. If someone does manage to do this in a regular game and the enemy does come in from a certain angle, it'll appear as if the stink bomb isn't even in the middle of the smoke, and it could do some serious damage to you. No matter what way you throw them, you could do stink bomb then smoke grenade, or smoke grenade then stink bomb. Both of them will appear the exact same. The smoke will always be bigger than the stink bomb. And when you are in the smoke, you don't even know that the stink bomb is there unless you are obviously hearing or you look down at your health bar and seeing it drop very quickly. This was something I totally didn't expect. I was thinking the smoke grenade would totally cancel out the stink bomb. The next myth is, what happens when you jump onto a launch pad while your feet are still frozen from the chiller grenade? Now obviously the chiller grenade and the chiller trap both do the exact same, so I just chose the chiller trap because I mean it would save me some time, a little bit at least. Now when I did jump off the launch pad and I was gliding down, I felt something a little strange. Usually while gliding you have full control of your character, but when I did have these ice cubes on my feet and my player was frozen, I did notice him sliding around even while in mid-air. To further test this, I did jump on the launch pad once again while my feet were frozen, and I did not touch my keyboard at all. Right now, I'm literally not touching my keyboard nor moving my character, and as you can tell, I do glide a decent distance away from the launch pad without even touching anything. I then redid this once again, but I bounced off the launch pad and I did not have any ice cubes on my feet. I was not frozen and I just went straight up and down. So when you do have the effect from the trap, it will affect your gliding. Going straight into the next myth is, what happens when a supply drop lands in a rift? Now, unlike the others, obviously I can't do this in creative mode because I don't think you could really spawn in a supply drop. Shortly after spawning in, I looted around a couple of chests and I luckily found a rift to go very quickly, unlike past episodes. I got into playing and obviously a whole ton of supply drops just keep respawning in playground mode, I think one every minute, and I managed to find one fairly close. Now, for those of you who don't know, when you use a rift to go, you will notice that there is a rift that will stay in the exact same position for about 5 to 10 seconds after you actually use the rift to go. It looks the exact same and it acts the exact same as a regular rift, but when the supply drop did land on top of it, literally nothing happened. But as you can see, when I did go up to loot the supply drop, my color started to fade away as if I was going into a rift, and then it just totally disappeared. I thought this was a pretty good, very unique myth that I never even heard of before, and I thought I would never get this answer. The next myth is, if you get boogie bombed while you are holding dynamite that is about to explode, will it cancel it out? In game, when I tested this out, sadly nobody I knew was online to do this with me, so I had to figure out a way to throw a boogie bomb and actually catch up to it so it will still affect me the exact same way. Now obviously, throwing the boogie bomb straight up in the air, you don't just catch up to it, so I had to put down a bounce pad, then I was able to throw it up into the air, bounce myself far enough in order for me to land within the radius to start dancing. After making sure I was able to do this successfully every single time, I actually attempted to do this while holding the dynamite in my hand. I threw the boogie bomb, then while I was in mid-air, I pulled out the dynamite, held it, and ignited it, and as you can see, when the boogie bomb does hit the ground and starts to make you dance, your player acts as if he throws it, but in reality, he just cancels it out and it goes back into his inventory. I thought this was pretty interesting to see because he literally does the animation as if he threw it, so I don't know why they didn't make it so he just throws it. I did end up testing it a couple of more times and it literally did the exact same thing every single time. He just does the same animation as if he throws it and then it just goes back into his inventory. Jumping into the next myth is, what happens when you put a bottle rocket on top of a launch pad? To do this, it was actually fairly simple and something funny actually happened later on throughout this myth. Typically, when you throw a bottle rocket and it lands on the top of a launch pad, the launch pad is still fully functional and the bottle rocket does continue shooting its own rockets out of the top. Now, as you saw there, if you do end up throwing the bottle rocket on the far corner on the metal piece on the side outer edges of the launch pad, it will actually make the bottle rocket kind of bounce off, and it will bounce a good distance if you do get it in the perfect spot and land somewhere else. I thought this was actually pretty funny to do, and you definitely could maybe just launch it off the side of a cliff in a very stylish way. I attempted to do it once again, but this time made it bounce from launchpad to launchpad, and as you could see, it kind of bounced onto it and then it just totally destroyed the other launchpad. These items are definitely pretty fun. Similar to the last myth, the next myth is, what happens when you throw a bottle rocket onto another bottle rocket? This one actually had a very similar outcome to the launchpad one. So basically, when I threw down the bottle rocket onto the other one, it does this little bounce animation, but if you do throw it on the right place, it will literally send the bottle rocket flying maybe 3 to 4 walls high, which is pretty high for this. Of course, this isn't necessary because you literally could just throw it that high anyways, and probably even higher, but of course, if you do want to get some extra stylish points, you could literally throw down one bottle rocket, throw your other one on top of it, and it will literally bounce from one to another. Anyways, this is a pretty cool thing to do. It's fun to mess around with this stuff when you're bored because there's a lot more items in the game that actually do this and have this sort of mechanics that I'm sure a lot of us don't even know, including myself. So I guess that's a benefit to the Mythbusters series because we figured out a lot of secrets like this in the game that not the typical player will know about. Jumping into the last myth is, can you place 2 or more bottle rockets at the exact same time? If you were paying attention already earlier on in the video, you would have already noticed that you can't have more than 2 bottle rockets being active at the exact same time. This is actually a very good thing because, I mean, Epic Games is known for pretty much having things just totally nerf buildings, so by them making it so you can't have more than 2 of these, it totally reduces the structure damage it could do. But I mean, of course, they still have all of the other bull crap like the rocket launchers and the boom boxes that just totally ruin building. Anyways guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, make sure to leave a like, and I will see you guys next time.